Hey guys, it's finally time to put the door panels in on my 96 Ford Econoline, and I actually already got the passenger side in. Pretty much do the same thing on this side, and I already put sound deadening material in the doors, and it sounds so much better. That's the door handle wiggling. Like, see that versus this? Huge difference. And I didn't even use all that much. But the first thing I'm gonna do is fix the little bulb holder. This is how it was when I took the door panel off. Like, someone just snipped those. I don't know why, just to make it easier, I guess. But it looks like we have enough to get some new wires on there. And I went to the junkyard and got a little bulb holder that fits perfectly. I actually got this from a rear license plate light on an Econoline, but it's the same one because I couldn't find the door ones. But anyways, I'm just gonna splice these on, and I'm not gonna go into depth about making splices and connectors and stuff in this video. If you guys want a separate video on how to do that, leave a comment down below, and if I get enough comments, I will make a little video on that with like a close-up, and so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so I was able to splice it on, and I prefer crimping and then putting like an adhesive lined heat shrink over that. Throw a little electrical tape on here, and also I did totally blow the fuse because I had the door open, which is good to know because I want to run a whole lot of LED lights on the door light circuit. Anyways, I got a little CAN bus LED bulb, T10. Just plug that in there, nice and bright. Same one I'm using on the other side, and if I push the door pin in, it turns off, let it out, turns on. That's good to go. Next, I'm just gonna take some Eastwood pre-green and just clean off the whole inner door. Lint-free paper towels. And we'll let that dry for a little bit. So I don't quite have enough room for the speaker wires. I think I just clipped them off. Some of the speakers in this van are aftermarket, and the wires are just like held on with duct tape. It'd be really hard to like get it on there before installing it. So I just took some red and black wire, about the same gauge, and I put some spade connectors on there. I have some little spade crimps that are 3 different sizes, and negative is a really small one, and then positive is the bigger one. But you're going to want to look on the wiring diagram to see which wires are which, and in this case the orange and green wire is positive. This van has the premium audio, so the wire colors change because it goes through an amplifier. But after I crimped on these spade connectors and put some heat shrink on there, I also put some crimps on the end, and they're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and strip of these. If I stick them through this hole, have a little extra room. Actually, that might work. There we go. And we'll get the heat shrink ready. And you always want to put your heat shrink on before crimping it, or else that causes some issues. I have forgotten that quite a lot. But we'll go ahead and crimp positive speaker wire, and you really want to make sure you're hooking your speakers up correctly. Like, they'll work if they're backwards. However, if say the driver's side is correct and the passenger side is backwards, the speakers will basically be canceling each other out. It's called out of phase. So when this speaker is pushing out, that one's pushing in, and it kind of just cancels each other out, and it sounds really weird when that happens. And it's like really quiet, and just sounds off when your speakers are out of phase. So very important to not mix that up, even though it won't damage anything. I like to use the smallest crimps possible. I always tug on them, make sure they're good. And I just grab the heat shrink in the middle with my thumb and just slide it over. Let's make sure that's covered up properly. And these wires are good to go. Yeah, it should work just fine right there. Should be out of the way of the window. Okay, next we just got some sound deadening mat. I kind of already pre-cut it, fit over the speaker hole. Peel the backing off, and we'll just kind of line it up here. And we'll just use one of these rollers to make sure it sticks on well. Next, we can just take a fresh razor blade, and we're going to cut the speaker out maybe leave like a 1/4 inch or so all the way around. Then we can fold it in. And the part we took out, I'm just gonna stick it right here over the window motor. No use in throwing it away. It might help kind of make the window opening and closing a little quieter. And then I'll just find the little speaker screw holes and just punch them out with the little pick. So now we can just plug the speaker in. Sometimes they're a little hard to do. Maybe just give them a little bit of a wiggle. That's probably good. All right there. And then we can screw it in. And it's got these little Phillips screws. These speakers didn't come with any hardware. Usually they come with something. And I'll kind of just snug them up by hand so I get a nice feel how tight they should be. And we can just kind of look in this hole, make sure the wires aren't going to get in the way of the window. Okay, so here's the door panel, and we're gonna have to fix a few things. As you can see, this is all cracking right here, and also some of these clips are broken. However, I found them. This one fits right there. But what I do for these is use hot staples, and I actually found using a little Dremel cutoff wheel to remove all of the legs is better. I also made a separate video on how to hot staple plastic. And also what I found is after you're done, you know, putting in some hot staples to make it stronger, you use some high temperature hot glue and you kind of just fill it all in around the hot staples. And that makes it super extra strong and, you know, slightly flexible as well. Think of it as like fiberglass, where you have the resin, that's like the hot glue, and then all of the little fibers is like the hot staples. Or you could think of it as like concrete and rebar, where concrete is the hot glue and rebar is the hot staples. It just seems to work really well. I've used it quite a bit, and it usually ends up just as strong as it was. And also the speaker grills are kind of hanging off because someone probably thought to replace the speakers you just yank the speaker grill off. However, they're just kind of plastic welded on. So I'm gonna drill out these little holes, and then I'm gonna insert a special hot staple in there, and then just put a little hot glue. Make sure it's a high temp hot glue. That's the best, where it kind of just melts into the plastic. This one isn't quite as bad. So I pretty much have all of the plastic repaired, and just look how strong this is. I can lift the door panel by this and shake it, and it doesn't break. And this one too. It's like rebar and concrete. It's definitely the best method of repairing plastic. I've had a lot of good luck with it. Next, I'm going to take care of the moisture barrier, and I'm not going to use the original one. It's a little ripped up, but I'm actually going to use this closed cell foam, because this is going to insulate a lot better than that. And it could probably be like a little thinner, but I was able to get it on the passenger side. There was just a little bit of trouble, but I'd rather have a little extra insulation than it, you know, fit 100% perfect. But I'll go ahead and just lay this down and then trace it out and cut it out to fit, especially for the speaker and the door handle and stuff like that. Got the basic cutout done. Slit for all the connectors and stuff like that. Stick the wires and stuff through. And stick it on. So next, I just took a razor blade and kind of made cutouts where those little like hooks go right there. And I kind of just left the top bit, just to help with insulation a little bit more. To remember where they are, I just took a picture of the door without it on here. Next, I'm just gonna clean up the door panel and all the trim. And I really like this coverall, Zap It stain remover. Cleans trim really well. Go ahead and try to install it. Put in the And lines up. All right, so I got it on. It's definitely not perfect, but it's good enough. Definitely a tight fit, and you really have to make sure all those little hooks are in before you kind of push it down. But it's all the way in, so now we'll go ahead and put all the screws and trim in, and I have a video on how I took it apart. It's basically reverse order. You just want to remember which screws go where. I also covered the inside of this little triangle piece with insulation, because the more the better, and there's room behind it. And the door panel is good to go. Light works, nice and sturdy, and it's quiet. And it should definitely help insulate a little bit better, even though it was a pain to get that on. Hopefully I don't have to take it back off for a while. And it sure is nice having these buttons right there. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Peace out. Peace out.